It's 6 o'clock in the morning, completely dark outside. My 14-year-old son is fast asleep in his bed. I turn on the light and physically shake the poor boy awake, because I know that, like ripping off a Band-Aid, it's better to get it over with, quickly. Sounds brutal, but maybe familiar. Every morning I ask myself, how can I, knowing what I know, be doing this to my own son? You see, I'm a sleep researcher, so I know that I'm depriving my son of sleep he desperately needs as a fast-growing teenager. I also know that by waking him up hours before his natural biological clock tells him he's ready, I'm literally robbing him of the kind of sleep most connected to learning, memory formation, and emotional processing. But it's not just my child who is being deprived of sleep. Sleep deprivation among American teenagers is an epidemic. Only about 1 in 10 gets to 8 to 10 hours of sleep each night. Recommended by sleep scientists and pediatricians, the main thing stopping teens from getting the sleep they need is a matter of public policy. Across the country, many schools are starting around 7:30 a.m. or even earlier, even though major medical organizations recommend that middle and high schools start no earlier than 8:30 a.m. These early start policies have a direct effect on how little sleep American teenagers are getting. They're also putting teenagers in a basically unwinnable fight against their own bodies. Around the time of puberty, teenagers go through a delay in their biological clock, which decides when we feel most awake and when we feel most sleepy. This happens in part because of a shift in the release of the hormone melatonin. Teenagers? Bodies wait to start releasing melatonin until around 11 p.m., which is 2 hours later than what we see in adults or younger children. This means that waking a teenager up at 6 a.m. is biologically the same as waking an adult up at 4 a.m. now. On the unfortunate days when I have to wake up at 4 a.m., I'm a zombie. Basically useless. I can't think clearly. I'm irritable, and I probably shouldn't be driving a car. But this is how many American teenagers feel every single school day. Many of the, shall we say, unpleasant traits that we blame on being a teenager: moodiness, irritability, laziness, depression, could be the result of chronic sleep deprivation. For many teens dealing with chronic sleep loss, their go-to way to cope is drinking large amounts of caffeine in the form of venti, frappuccinos, or energy drinks and shots. So basically, we've got an entire population of tired but wired young people. People who support sleep-friendly start times know that adolescence is a time of major brain development, especially in the parts of the brain that are responsible for those higher-level thinking skills, including reasoning, problem-solving, and good judgment. In other words, the very kind of brain activity that helps control those impulsive and often risky behaviors that are so common during adolescence. They know that, like the rest of us, when teenagers don't get the sleep they need, their brains, their bodies, and their behavior suffer. They can't concentrate. Their attention drops sharply, and many will even show behavioral signs that look like ADHD. But the effects of teen sleep loss go far beyond the classroom, sadly adding too many of the mental health problems that rise sharply during adolescence. In our work with teens from LA Unified School District, let's develop shock and rock. Let's develop shock and rock. What? What, my baby? Time to rock, baby. Time to reload. We found that teens with sleep problems were 55% more likely to have used alcohol in the past month. In another study, with more than 30,000 high school students, researchers found that for each hour of lost sleep, there was a 38% increase in feeling sad or hopeless, and a 58% increase in teen suicide attempts. And if that's not enough, teens who do not get enough sleep are at greater risk for many physical health problems that affect our country, including obesity, heart disease, and diabetes. Then there's the risk of putting a sleep-deprived teen behind the wheel. Studies have shown that getting 5 hours or less of sleep per night is the same as driving with a blood alcohol level above the legal limit. Researchers in this field have produced powerful science showing the benefits of later start times. The findings are clear. Teens from districts with later start times get more sleep. They're more likely to come to school. School absences dropped by 25% in one district, and they're less likely to drop out. Not surprisingly, they do better in school. Standardized test scores in math and reading go up by 2 to 3 percentage points. That's as powerful as reducing class sizes by 1/3 fewer students. Their mental and physical health improves, and their families are happier. Even their communities are safer, because car crash rates go down, a 70% reduction in one district. Now, with all these huge benefits, you might think, well, this is a no-brainer, right? So why have we as a society failed to answer this call? Delaying start times brings many logistical challenges. Updating bus routes, higher transportation, costs, effects on sports, care before or after school. But these are problems we have to work through. They are not valid excuses for failing to do the right thing for our children, which is to start middle and high schools no earlier than 8:30 a.m. districts around the country. Big and small, that have made this change, have found that these fears are often not true and are far outweighed by the huge benefits for our students, health and performance, and our shared public safety.